Hiya. Okay, seems to be working. So hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah, just trying to sort out live stream, just using my phone for it today. Not sure how well the audio is going to work. I'm not using my my mic, so audio might be a bit rubbish. But yeah, I'm not sure if I can see comments. Okay, so yeah, I've not done a live stream in a long time. Hopefully I'll be able to see comments on the bits and pieces as they come up. It's been some time since I've done one of these, and I thought I would just do, I guess, a bit of a chat about stuff that's going on at the moment, and yeah, where I see my kind of stuff. If there's any questions, then please let me know. So hello, Tom. Hello, RoboDog and Phil and Jonathan. So thank you. Because I'm on my phone, occasionally things will pop up and it might be a bit difficult for me to see what's coming up. But I will try to answer to your comments, etc. So for today, I've done my quite sort of strong lips, high vessel, strong lip color. I guess you call this a sort of black cherry, burgundy type color. But yeah, it's a nice one. And it's just quick makeup. So this took me only an hour today. So hello, Thierry, and hello, Nona. But what I thought I would talk about today is the subject of, yeah, a little bit about recent stuff that's been going on in the news. It's been quite interesting recently watching what's been going on in the news. Hi, yeah, particularly around sort of issues of cancel culture and stuff. So it's been a while since I've been online talking to people, but I'm watching with interest stuff that's going on with people like J.K. Rowling and stuff like that. So I want to do a video on that kind of stuff, just to try to talk about all the fun stuff going on in the world of cancel culture and people being banned from YouTube, etc., etc. So hi Matteo, hi Prince Michael of Kent, I assume, and hi Thompson. Yeah, it's afternoon here at the moment, so it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just messing around, having a bit of a sort of recording video day. Thank you, Troy, and thank you, Janie. Just doing, yeah, a bit of fun type stuff. Recording some stuff about gender identity. I'm doing a new video about my kind of thoughts on my gender, how I see myself. You know, am I trans? Am I genderqueer? Am I, you know, where do I stand, etc. I get lots of questions about whether I'm going to transition or anything else, particularly with the nails and, you know, the hair and stuff. People seem to be asking me all the time about, you know, what I'm going to do with regards to yeah, to transitioning, if I've got any plans for that. But you know, I'll cover that in the video. So while I'm here today, are there any questions? If there's anything you wanted to ask me, I thought we'd just do a sort of ask me anything type of video. Anything you wanted to do. Yeah, thank you, Osodit. I agree with that. So yeah, I think gender identity it should be an individual thing. I think the problem is that, you know, humans think in terms of binary terms, and we think about two things, and male and female. You know, there's no such thing as a male or a female really, because everyone is so different. There are 3 billion males on this planet and 3 billion women, female. So what can you possibly do to be anything other than individual? So yeah, maybe there are 6 billion genders. That'd be the easiest way to work it out. Yeah, so if there's any questions, anyone wanted to ask me anything, the chat is popping up. So hola, Alberto, thank you, Sherry, and hi, Karina. Then feel free to ask me. What I did do as well today is I did a real-time video of this makeup. So it took about an hour and 10 minutes to do this. with bits of standing up and that kind of stuff in between. So I did a real-time video. I'm going to put that up on YouTube as soon as I can, just to kind of show how I did this, talk through the different makeups that I've used, and just show you how you can kind of slap it on quite quickly and get it out of the way. Okay, so a couple of questions there. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that, Philip. How to come up to your parents? I'm probably not the best person to ask on that. My mother died a few years ago. She would have been completely happy and completely fine with me being, somewhere in the trans community, with me being genderqueer, if you want to call it that. She wouldn't have had an issue in the slightest. She would have been very defensive of me and very proud, and that would have been her attitude. My father, on the other hand, we don't talk about it. He knows, but we really don't. We don't talk about that kind of stuff. We talk about cricket, but we don't talk about gender and gender identity. He's quite old-fashioned. I would describe my father as being quite sexist and a bit racist. Racist in, let's say, a modern sense of, let's say, embedded bias, let's put it that way, as opposed to overt. He's not a member of the BNP or anything, but he has some peculiar views on the way the world works. I saw a question about my makeup and how I do my makeup, how I learnt my makeup. I went along to a number of makeovers. So there's a channel on YouTube run by Sophie. So I'll put a little link up to it later. So I'll do a little link. There's a YouTube channel which Sophie has started recently. And hi Jet. She runs a sort of web shop which sells stuff for the trans community. It sells breast forms and wigs and shoes and all sorts of other bits and pieces for the trans community in the UK. And she's based down near Brighton. And I went there for a makeover. I've been for several other makeovers. And the way I've learnt is by paying close attention during a makeover, and also by YouTube. YouTube's a fantastic resource. And you really can't do much better than just copying what people do on YouTube. YouTube's fantastic. It's a great resource. How people code before YouTube, I don't know. Another tip is, if you're not sure about colors and stuff that work for you, a makeover is a great way of working out what kind of colors work for you as well. Thank you, Goran. And it's a great way of thinking, what's a good color for me? Lip colors, etc. So I've learned that quite dark, bold lip colors work really well on me. I don't do so well with pale colors, for example, with pale pinks, that kind of color. So dark, strong lip colors is a really good sort of, it's a good way of doing my face. But you may find your face is completely different. Depending on your skin tone, your hair color, all these things can have a massive effect. And your face shape obviously is massively important as well. So by putting these things together, it's quite, that's a good way of understanding. And a makeover is fantastic. I also went for a makeover at Mac in a local shopping center. So I went to my local shopping center, had to do the whole, take it all off. Thank you, Troy, by the way. Had to sit there in guy mode, clean shaven, and then get made over in the middle of a shopping center. Once you do something like that, most other things aren't so nerve-wracking. But that was interesting to see how a sort of non sort of trans-focused makeup style would work on me, because it was sort of a genuine, normal kind of makeover from just someone who would do normal good makeup for women, which was cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was good fun. Nerve-wracking, Very good fun. And today I chose to go for the reds, mainly because I was trying to do something that was quite striking quite quickly. So obviously, if you're trying to do makeup quite quickly, darker tones rather than lighter, subtle tones are really good for being able to get some color on quite quickly. And I went with this kind of reddish color on the eyes, as you can see, but quite simple, straightforward, quick colors for today. But yeah, it's been weird. It's been really weird the last sort of 6 to 9 months watching what's going on in the world. I'm dying to talk about J.K. Rowling, to talk about this whole cancel culture type thing and all the stuff going on in the world today. Um, you know, all sorts of political, cultural stuff. But I don't want to talk about it from a sort of whiny, moany point of view. Um, I've been off social media for some time, and it's been, to be frank, quite refreshing. And one of the things I've had a bit of a think about is that I went through my Facebook feed. Now, I looked at my Facebook friends and people, and by the way, this isn't Juliette Facebook, this is my guy side Facebook. And I realized that by muting the feed from two people, I could turn my Facebook into a magical place of positivity, because I had two people constantly posting negative crap, and it was terrible. Just constant negative stuff. Now, I don't mind who you are. I don't mind what your views are, really. I think the difference is when people just post negativity. Yeah, Vessel, I do have an Instagram. It's Juliette is Noir. So you can just find me by name. It's easy to find me. So when people post negativity, that's my problem. Whether you are a liberal snowflake cuck, whatever you are, I consider myself to be that. It's fine. But you can still post negative stuff all the time. And you could be right wing, you know, Trump supporting person. I wouldn't agree with you. But if you can put positivity out there rather than negativity, I find that quite easy to watch. And so my approach is going to try to be one of putting something positive out there. It's very easy to tear stuff down. There's an awful lot on the internet that's based on tearing things down and on criticizing people's beliefs, calling people idiots, calling people stupid, just taking opposing positions with people. And in my experience, the vast majority of people wouldn't dare express themselves like that to someone's face. It's only to this internet community that you can do this stuff. So for me, cancel culture, which I would like to talk about. Yes, Jack, I will do. I will definitely do some more videos where she's actually away today. She's staying with my daughter and some friends. So I've got the house to myself. But yeah, this whole cancel culture thing, what I find really interesting is this. Cancel culture couldn't exist without the internet and without social media. You couldn't really, you know, back when I was growing up, the only way you could do cancel culture was to write a letter to your newspaper, was to stop watching a show. If you stopped watching someone's show or stopped watching someone's program, and their numbers would fall, etc., or they wouldn't get, you know, that was how you kind of got rid of people. But today, I think cancel culture is almost a logical extension of where we are with enormous numbers of people online. The fact that, you know, I can amass, what is it, it's over 40,000 followers on Instagram, 23,000 subscribers on YouTube. There are people out there with tens of millions of of subscribers, okay, on Twitter, whatever. That's an unparalleled level of connectivity to the world. And we don't know enough. We're not mature enough with this technology, with this world, to understand it, to really understand the consequence of it. So when I see someone moaning that they're being bombarded by messages from people who disagree with them, that's just the flip side of the vast amount of positivity that you can get from being able to reach so many people and having so many people follow you every word. I think there's a level of arrogance if you think that you can have, let's say, 15, 20 million followers and you can be sending out positivity. And if you do something or say something that people think is dumb or stupid or offensive or whatever else, that some of those people will then withdraw the support for you, or they will message you to tell you that you're wrong. I think, it would be idiotic to expect anything different. So for me, cancel culture, that kind of stuff, it's a necessary adjunct. It's a natural adjunct of this connected social media world that we live in today. So anyone that moans about it, I guess, just doesn't understand what they're doing or the whole point of it. So Norman, yes, I'd love to go to LFF, but things being as they are, it's quite difficult. This weekend is supposed to be the Sparkle weekend, so I'm kind of doing this stuff. I had this whole time free because I had planned to be at Sparkle up in Manchester this weekend, and I didn't obviously get to go in the end. The Sparkle was cancelled, the whole event was cancelled. Some people have gone up there, and they're doing it to sort of represent some support for new changes to law on self-identification. But I didn't go. I've also got the dog who's just down here to look after. So it was easy for me to stay at home and look after the dog, and my wife and daughter could go do the plans that they'd already made. And I, because they can go visit people, etc. But I can't do my stuff, which is a shame. So that's why I'm kind of doing this dressing, is because it's supposed to be my Sparkle weekend. Bit of a shame. So I'd love to come to Leeds again. Not sure when. I mean, it's going to depend on what happens with the whole thing. Hi, Spiteful. Hey, Joe. And hello. I'm going to call you Carolina. Thank you. So yeah, that's what's next. I haven't been out for ages. Pink Punters is still closed. Still running their evening sort of piping club music into your house and stuff. That's fun, which is good. But yeah, there's not really many opportunities to go and do much at the moment. We'll have to see how this virus thing transpires, what happens with it. But yeah, in the meantime, I've got loads of stuff to do. So I'm doing lots of work at home, and I'm trying my best to get through lots of outside outdoor stuff. Next up is a patio. Got to make a patio or build a patio, and I'm also building a big fence. So that's me well into summer with my plans. So yeah, going out, haven't given it much more thought recently. Yeah, I know what you mean about this whole pandemic thing. How long it's lasted. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one to talk about, but I think it's certainly this sort of new normal thing. I don't know. We're healthy here. We're dealing with stuff, we're coping, so you can't really complain that much. There are people in plenty worse situations than we're in. So we'll make the most of it, make the best of it. It just means it's a bit quiet for a while. That's the downside. But it would be nice to get out again, go see some people, do something. Hopefully dinner's going to start up again soon, so be nice to go out for dinners, but obviously they're still encouraging it to be within groups. So for me to get together with groups of friends and go for dinner, it's quite difficult, because it's bad for social distancing and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be some time before all that kind of stuff can really pick up again. So yeah, fair enough. Unless I go down my local pub, I can't really go out and do anything fun with friends. So I'm trying to think about what else there is to talk about. Yeah, no, Pride. Actually, yeah, that's a good thing to mention. Yeah, Pride has been obviously a really kind of dull month this year. We've been flying the flag outside the house, both of them, both the rainbow flag and also the trans flag, the pink and blue and pink flag as well. So we've been flying them outside, just to sort of um, let people know where we stand on these things. I think some people would convince or would probably think that the normal rainbow flag was for the NHS. So I thought we'd put the trans pride flag out as well, just to make sure it's really, really clear. Thank you, Scott. But yeah, Pride's taken a massive hit. And yeah, last year, this kind of time, we were down at Brighton Pride, which was fantastic. Went there with the family. So would have been nice to have done something similar again this year, just to get out and do more family type stuff together. Um, yeah, we haven't had many opportunities to do stuff like that, which has been a bit of a bummer. Hopefully, later in the summer, we'll have some time to do something. We've actually been doing something quite interesting here, which is because the pandemic was going on, there were a number of, obviously, supermarkets are quite difficult to get to sometimes, and small shops, we have small farm shops that are around us, they had started to sell lots more fruit and veg. And what we did was we were collecting fruit and veg that wasn't kind of fit for sale, but was still good to use. So it was a little bit older, and we were distributing it in our local village. And yeah, for free, just go and pick it up, distribute it for free. And we were taking donations through an online, through Just Giving, um, for charity to try and do something good. That was interesting. That's kind of died down now because the shops are kind of opening back up again. So that was really, really good and was a nice positive thing to do. Met a lot of people in the community. We were able to kind of chat and talk to a lot of people who we don't normally know from our village, and that was good. That was a sort of positive upside to this whole um, outbreak, this whole pandemic, was that we could spend a bit of time and do some stuff. So a couple of weekends ago, I was recording some videos, and we had the call from the local shop. So my wife went down, picked up the groceries. We get normally 4 or 5 big boxes of groceries, um, fruits, veg, that kind of stuff, lots of potatoes and onions, carrots, that kind of thing. And then we arranged them and put them outside where people just come by and grab stuff. So we had a sort of fun moment where I was running around, um, fully dressed up with my family, um, organising fruit and veg, putting it outside, just being a bit more out. I don't go wandering down to my local shops dressed as Juliette, but I don't feel the need. If the postman drove up, I don't feel the need to scurry and hide in a bush if I'm outside. Um, it's my garden. If you want to come into my garden, then you'll see what you see, and I can't say more than that. And so walking out to our village or walking out to the driveway and being seen isn't something I have a problem with these days. So I saw a question about my wife. She is still supportive of Juliette. Obviously, I've been growing my hair. She's been sort of interested in what I'm doing with my hair. She cuts the underside here. So she cuts these bits which are short at the back and sides. And she has been kind of putting up with my nails. which are, these are my nails. They're quite big these days. I've been growing them since we're in lockdown. I suspect that once lockdown's over, I'm probably going to get a bit annoyed with them and maybe get rid of them. But we'll see. I've been nursing them through all of my jobs and stuff. So I'm, yeah, she's been really cool with the things that I've been doing. I think because she hasn't, because I've not been able to get out and do much, I haven't had my sort of outlets, and I haven't been doing much in terms of dressing at all because I've been working and doing loads of stuff around here. She, I guess, got the chance to see and to understand that I can put things away. Not necessarily put some things away, but I can move to my stuff. You know, I can do other bits and pieces, and I can carry on this life without, you know, while rolling things back. I think that was what was interesting for her to see, is that I can put things on pause for a while, concentrate on other things, do stuff that needs to be done, pick it back up again. And you know, as I blend things, as I kind of blur things together a bit to be a bit more gender fluid, let's say, she's been really cool with that, which has been great. I saw a question there about Sparkle. I mentioned it earlier. I was going to go to Sparkle. I was supposed to be there this weekend, and yeah, it's a real pain that I'm not there. That's why I had the house to myself this week, or this weekend, because I made plans to take the train to Sparkle to Manchester, and my family were going to go visit friends. They're still doing theirs because they can, and I'm not doing my weekend, so I'm just fanning around at home, doing videos and talking to you guys. So how did I tell my wife? I've got a couple of videos on that. She caught me. She found out. I didn't tell her. I've done videos explaining to people how I think telling her would have been the right thing to do. But I've also done videos explaining that my wife, she has a very different attitude today to who I am than she had 5, 6, 7, 8 or more years ago. And she wouldn't have, as she knew me when we first met, would not have accepted Juliette. And it probably wouldn't have gone as far as it has had she known about Juliette. So I'm in a weird situation, which is we're making it work. If I've been honest, I wouldn't be married to her. I wouldn't have my daughter. And so, as I've said quite bluntly, if I went back in time, knowing what I know today, I'd lie to her all over again. We've had this conversation face to face. I would lie to her all over again, because what we have now, I value so much, and it would have been too easy to walk away later on. So, yeah. Do I have any tips to be a crossdresser? Enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. Have fun with it. Try different things. Experiment. Don't do what everyone does. Start cheap. Don't spend a lot of money. Use socks, okay, instead of breast forms. Socks and a bra. Stuff a bra with socks. That's what I used to do. Much easier. Make use of things you have around, especially if you're trying to keep it hidden. But yeah, start cheap. And don't spend loads of money on things. People who, now I've got nothing against these things, okay? Let's be clear about that. And I've been asked to advertise them. You see people that, or these adverts for these kind of full body suits, latex body suits, where you can effectively almost like wear a full body skin comes up around your neck. You have people that have the masks and stuff. Yeah, they have the kind of made up masks. Some really good quality ones and not so good quality ones. All that's incredibly expensive. And yeah, having fun with it and finding out who you are with your cross-dressing is, yeah, for me, is far more important. So um, try and spend your money wisely, and yeah, buy a few good quality things at the right time, rather than feeling that you have to chase after the next thing. So I use a breastplate from time to time. There's nothing like it. It's amazing. But on a day like today, it's hot, I wouldn't wear it because it's not practical. I'm far happy being comfortable with, I've got just a padded bra on today. So I'm literally just wearing a padded bra under this thing, under my, because it's hot. And so I accept the compromise that I don't look curves today because it's not right. So I know what I can look at, with full on curves and stuff, but I don't feel I need to look like that all the time. So there we go. Does what I do for a living interfere with dressing up? No. I work from home, always, even during outside of pandemics. So I always work from home, and therefore I can dress anytime I want. I have to go on conference calls. I get to choose whether they're video calls or not, so I can ignore video calls. That's my dog, by the way, if you can hear that. I don't have to do video calls. I can just do voicemails or voice calls. So yeah, I can dress anytime I want to, which is easy. It means it's easy. I can do that. So anytime, it's quite simple. Why is there a strip of cross dressers? People thinking they're bi or gay. Um, okay, so I'll be controversial here. I think that most men assume that the only reason someone makes an effort with their appearance is to attract them. So I think that most men see a woman who has put some effort into her appearance, I think the male assumption is that she's done that to be attractive to you, not for herself. And so I think it's that. It's just that. If I do this to make myself feel good, to visualize myself, to express myself the way that I think that I am, I need to be quite full on with makeup because I've got a guy face to cover. So I can't do, I can't really do mild makeup. It needs to be quite strong. And as a result, it's always going to look like when a woman is going full on makeup, it's that kind of makeup. To some extent by necessity for me as a as a man underneath it all. And so because you're doing full on, it's there's an assumption, I think, that it's for a man's use, pleasure, whatever. I think that's it. So the questions are going past quite quickly, so I'm missing some. Do you think about family routines constructive with the positive growth of my family? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. My daughter likes when I do her makeup. She's only 10, so we only do little bits and pieces because she's got perfect skin, which is really annoying. But I do that, sometimes every now and again, but then so does my wife. And I frequently turn down or refuse to do my daughter's makeup because I don't get in the way of a sort of mother-daughter relationship. My wife likes doing that stuff as well, and if I only kind of jumped into that as my kind of thing, it would be, I think it would be bad, and so we try and maintain a decent dynamic where I am dad and my wife is mum. A couple of times my daughter has called me mum, and we stopped it. I stopped it because I don't want to, I don't want to tread on my wife's territory, and I don't want to create any form of resentment that I'm somehow invading her space, invading her role. That's the main thing. Um, and so it's, we make jokes about it every now and again, but it's the main thing is to not um, not get between that mother-daughter relationship and try and take it over. And that works quite healthily. My daughter, she sees me dressed like this again. Um, she's proud more than anything else. We told her when she was 8, she's now 10. She's never told anyone. So, we trusted her with any information. One day I'm sure she'll tell someone. Um, but when she does, it'll be, as I've said to her, one day she'll have to make a decision about who to trust. And when she makes that decision, that's a decision for her to make. And that I trust her to one day make that decision herself. But my only request is that she lets me know. I don't want to be, blindsided by people knowing. I'd like to know who knows within reason. And so we keep it all above board. That's the main thing. I think the main thing that I would say is that we try and deal in honesty. We try and deal in, we deal in challenges and in the truth as much as we can. And so, when we talk about stuff, when we talk about things like problems going on in the world today that my daughter's aware of, let's say stuff around Black Lives Matter, for example. That's something we've been talking about in our family, about Black Lives Matter, and talking to my daughter about that, and what we think it means, etc., etc. And we try to, to sort of challenge and to build up her confidence in her own opinions. And so, yeah, I always try and say to her, it's not about saying the thing you think I want to hear. It's about knowing your own mind and thinking about things and then feeling confident enough to say it to me. So one thing we discussed earlier this week, which is a particular bugbear of mine, is at the end of her school year, end of her 6th year, she's going to be given a Bible because it's a Church of England school. And we were discussing it the other day. My daughter would like to refuse the Bible because she doesn't believe. And I think that's cool. I like that. But as I said to her, it's I don't want you to do that because you think it would impress me. If you don't want to take the Bible, we've got several Bibles in the house. If you don't want to take the Bible and you want to respectfully say no thank you, and it's your decision, then you do that. Don't do it because you think it will make me happy or because you think it will be impressive to me or something else like that. Do it because it's what you want to do. And the thing that would impress me is that if you had the confidence to do that and the articulation to explain to someone that you don't, to stand there and make that, if you have that confidence at the age of 10 or 11, as she would be then that's amazing. And yeah, congratulations. So, are you the kind of person who has to do something in the cross-dressing like have to wait for? No, I don't have to do something every day. I don't have to do, I can just sling on a pair of jeans and do whatever. I don't have to have something cross-dressing about me. At the moment with the hair and the hair goes in a ponytail. The nails are always long at the moment. I don't know whether I'll cut them later, but they're always long at the moment. So I've always got something right now, which is my nails, at the very least. But normally, a couple of months ago, they'd have been short. My hair would have been shorter in a ponytail and would have been fine. So there we go. Is it a religious school? Yes, it is. It's a Church of England school. It is. And that's fine. I've spoken to the school about it and about faith education, that kind of stuff, and my views on it. So they're aware of that. And we just have an agreement that my daughter doesn't have to do stuff that is beyond the curriculum. Let's put it that way. So she does all the national curriculum stuff, but she doesn't have to do stuff that's beyond the curriculum. Someone mentioned bringing up with their wife. Bringing up this with your wife is very, very difficult. If you're trying to bring something with a partner, it's incredibly difficult. I did do some videos on this. I think I did a 2 or 3-parter video a while back about how to bring stuff up with your partner. It's a very, very difficult conversation. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, I got caught, so I got found out. I did not, do this noble thing of revealing it to my wife. However, I still had to deal with the whole point of wanting to bring it up again and again and again to keep us talking, to keep us communicating, because she wanted to just ignore the whole subject. So even though she knew we were past that first hurdle, we still had to I still had to make sure it was a subject of continuous conversation, and it wasn't simply swept under the rug where it would never be dealt with again or never be brought up again. Because if I hadn't brought it up, my wife never would have, and we would never have talked it through. So I did do a 3-video series on that. You might want to go back and check it out, because I put a lot more thought into that than I guess I could do off the cuff right here today. But the main thing I gave as advice was, if you think about it as creating an island, when you are trying to talk about something like this, people can say that you are wrong. They can try and attack you from all different sides. Some people will hit you with the fact that you're an abomination. You are just wrong. You're sick. You are ill. You need treatment. Some people will say, "Oh my God, that's not the person I want to be with. That's not what I married. You must be gay." Whatever. The point is I had to create what I would call an island. Imagine you're surrounded by quicksand, and you never know what someone's going to hit you with. When you can try and plan for what their argument might be, but you never know what they're going to hit you with. And so I refer to it as creating an island. It's a place where you are absolutely sure of your facts, that you can come back to again and again. Firm ground on which you can stand and kind of face all the different weird and wonderful things that will be coming at you, because you've got no idea what prejudice is or what internal feelings people have, because people don't express this stuff on a day-to-day basis. So you could be dealing with all sorts of crap from a partner or from a loved one, a family member. And the best thing is to know your safety point, to know the firm ground that you stand on to have the conversation. Are you or are you not gay? Be honest. Are you or are you not gay? Do you have gay tendencies? Are you or are you not going to transition? Do you have dysphoria? Is this a kink thing? Is it gender expression? Is it gender identity? What kind of person? If you can establish your firm ground, so that every time you can come back to these things. The number of times I had to tell my wife that I'm not gay is ridiculous. We have been very clear between us that I don't consider myself to be completely straight either. I find some cross-dressers very attractive. I'm attracted to their femininity, and that's what I go for. So if someone is feminine looking, acting, then there's a chance I'm going to find them attractive. Even if there's a guy underneath, it doesn't make a difference to me. So I don't consider myself to be 100% heterosexual. I definitely don't consider myself to be 100% gay. I know this for a fact. As much as I'm open to the concept of, like, I don't know, let's say, sleeping with a guy, right? Let's say this. Could I ever rule out 100% that me as a person would never sleep with a guy? I don't think I could rule that out. What I know is I never date a guy. I could never marry or date or be in a relationship with a guy. I'm I'm far too mercurial on this stuff. So hi Jade, thank you for sharing. Um, and I like femininity too much. As much as I can appreciate a handsome man or something else like that, it doesn't, I could never date someone. So there's no long-term relationship future for me with any guy. But it's, could I ever spend a night with a guy? I never have. I don't, it's one of those things that I don't really think about. But to be open with my wife is difficult, because if I'd said all that first up, okay, when I first talked about Juliette, we're trying to get things out, there's no room for nuance. My wife was paranoid. I'm gay, I must be gay. I must want to date gay people. I must want to transition. Surely this is escalation. The key word was escalation. Always escalation, escalation, escalation. You are going to transition at some point. And so I had to create boundaries, rules, firm rules that gave her some sense of not control, but stability. Later, we can introduce nuance. I would like to do more than I was doing. I now dress more than we agreed to 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, actually. So I dress more now than we agreed I would. I go out more than we agreed I would, but not massively so. And I still have all the time for our relationship. And I still have, I view it like going to the football. Those people go to the football. This is my going to the football. This is my going down the pub with friends. This is what I do instead of that. I don't do those things. So this is my release valve. It's my fun time. It's my enjoyment. But you couldn't have, we had to create some boundaries to be able to continue, to not just break up, which is what would have happened if I just gone, no, here are some facts. I find cross-dressers attractive. Thanks, Chrissy. I want to go out more. Yeah, it would be a nightmare. So having some kind of reasonable boundary, sticking within it, building up trust again, and then going forward. That's the way to go. So, okay, I've been on here, oh dear, for almost 50 minutes now. So I'm going to have to call a halt to things. Firstly, I've got to go feed the dog. Yeah, she's just lying down there, stretching at the moment. So I've got to go feed the dog. Are my nails painted all the time? Yes, at the moment they are, yes. So yes, in the sense that they're not always coloured, but I paint them, the French manicure pink. So you have the pink base coat for French manicures, which is kind of like a natural nail bed colour. I paint them with that, and it doesn't stand out. It's not as shiny as clear nail varnish. Clear nail varnish is really shiny and in your face. The pink one is not so shiny, so it doesn't reflect quite as much, but it helps strengthen them, give them stability. And so it gives them a bit more strength as you grow them. And so I paint them with that all the time. So they're always painted, but often not in a way that you'd notice. Having said that, recently I've been painting them almost all the time. So there we go. Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Terry. Thank you very much. So I'm going to, would you like to be a wife? No, not in the slightest. So as I was saying earlier, let's just reiterate this one. I couldn't date a guy. No interest in that whatsoever. So the only way I would be a wife is a wife to a woman. There you go, that would work. But again, still, not all the time, because I would very happily be guy me. So I need to go between the two. I'm gender fluid. I'm not, you know, fully transgender and not fully cisgender, if you want to put it that way. I'm in between the two. There we go. I can see your questions, Paula. Yeah, anyone can see your questions. Sorry, were you asking something? Yeah, frequency of dressing is a problem. I still compromise though. You know, sometimes I can't dress when I want to. Hello. So I might want to dress and I can't do. Can I ask you questions on Instagram? Yeah, sure. That's not a problem. Ask questions. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to go now. So thanks everyone for your time. Hope this was fun, useful, etc., etc. I'll record a few more videos and I'll try and release some stuff. And I'll try and maybe do a few more, a few more live streams as we go. So hello, Tiki Tim. Thank you very much. So have a good weekend, everyone. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the sun. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Bye.